Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to a Let's Play of The Council. This will be episode 1. Gonna keep introductions short, as the game starts relatively quickly, and I figured for a Let's Play we should just dive right into the action.
Stop! You're not getting anywhere with this Von Borchert.
You know, I kind of get the same feeling, my dear Sarah. Listen. Nothing. Not a sound. No one's coming to save you.
That's what you think. The Golden Order knows exactly where we are.
By the time your ridiculous secret society turns up, I'll be long gone. As for you, nothing will remain of your body.
If you touch a single hair on my mother's head, I'll skin you alive.
You know, Louis, I have no intention of beating your dear mother. There are more persuasive ways of making you talk. You've stolen something from me that I intend to get back. Where have you hidden it?
Von Borchert, you can't sell that book on the black market anymore. This is finished.
We know you're planning on selling at one of Lord Mortimer's parties. All right? Just tell us who the buyer is and we can make a deal.
You've no idea of the trouble you've gotten yourselves into. Oh, but you will tell me where it's hidden. I can promise you that.
Stop annoying our host, Louis. Son, didn't what happened to you in Rome teach you anything?
Just a few more minutes and my concoction will be ready. With this, your bodies will dissolve in less than 4 hours. You'll see. It loosens tongues in no time.
You know, I have to admit, Mother, the only thing you've ever taught me is that damn motto of yours. Always remain rational. And open. I got it. I've opened our shackles.
Draw him over here. I'll take care of him.
Von Borchert! Von Borchert! Listen. Let's make a deal. I'll tell you where the book is if you let my mother go free.
Oh, what are you playing at?
Don't worry, Mother.
You want to play the hero. Pity you're not in any position to do so. For the last time. Where is Al-Azif?
Let me do this. Trust me.
Please, be my guest, Mother.
Well done, Louis. You reacted perfectly.
How do you feel, Mother?
Couldn't be better. He's alive, so I can question him after we get back. Pity he's just a middleman. Means I haven't finished with this case.
Oh, I had a feeling you'd be running off on one of your adventures again, Mother. You know what? I'm warning you. This time, I'm coming with you.
No, even though you impress me more and more, I have to do this on my own.
Mother, you're no spring chicken anymore.
Come on, let's go home. And don't forget to send our men to tend to Von Borchert.
So, as you can see, that was the quick little intro to sort of jut you into the universe and get you excited for what's to come. This game, The Council, appealed to me because I am a fan of the Telltale series, episodic adventures. I think those are just cool ways to experience a story. This one primarily piqued my interest because of the dialogue options that seem to be present, as well as the fact that it has more RPG elements to it that kind of make it feel more like a video game.
Well done, Mother. You just had to pick up Bob Burchard's trail on your own, didn't you? You ditched me in Paris with no explanation, and off you go to infiltrate one of the world-renowned receptions of this Lord Mortimer? And now he writes me to say that you've gone missing on his private island? Which, by the way, looks more like a big rock than a paradise island. The least he could do is explain to me how he managed to lose you. In any case, it is time for you to stop all this, Mother. It no longer suits your age. Well, I'm sure I'll find you once again, slogging through the caves beneath the island, searching for some long-lost mystical object that you just can't live without. I'm already hating this trip, and all I've done is think
Contrary
about
to
it.
what one may be able to imagine, it was not the host himself who invited me.
Well now, Duchess, we find ourselves both invited by Sir Holm.
Well, how very amusing. Perhaps we have some common interests, Your Eminence. Is this your first time at one of Lord Mortimer's legendary parties?
Oh no, we have been friends since long ago. But as I'm doing some business with Sir Holm, the invitation came from him.
Well, I simply can't wait for all the festivities to begin.
And you, good sir, what brings you here?
Lord Mortimer asked me to join him. We have some business to take care of.
Oh, how mysterious. You adapt quickly, my son. You get along here like a fish in water. Would you believe that we are all here hoping to solve our personal issues? You'll see.
Right. I doubt that you came here to look for your mother, Your Eminence.
Anyway, consider yourself fortunate, young man, because there are many who dream of simply one day setting foot on this island, and only a very few ever make it. Indeed, I imagine this must be your first time here.
That's right. Until now, I've never been invited by Lord Mortimer.
You'll see. You won't soon forget it.
Given what I've seen so far, I wish I'd been passed over.
Come, Duchess. They are waiting for us.
We're moving, Monsieur de Richet, if you would like to join us.
I'm coming, Duchess. A cardinal? A duchess? I wonder if all the guests here are this prestigious. If I'd known, I would have gone for a better suit.
Are you all right?
Mother? Oh shit, your hand!
So,
Okay, it's done.
did you put it in a safe place?
Yes. I made sure no one was following me. Don't worry, Sarah, no one's going to find it.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Right. Just one thing left to do.
No, Mother, no, don't!
What? Have you lost your mind?
There's no other way.
If you kill me, you won't find it.
That is the point, my dear. No one must ever put their hands on it again.
No. But I trusted you.
No, Sarah, don't! No. No! You can run if you want to, Sarah, but you will pay.
Hugh.
Louis, are you all right? What's going on? Here, take this.
I'm sorry.
Keep it. Are you better?
I'm fine. Don't worry. It's getting late. Why don't you go on ahead and I'll catch up with you, okay?
Are you sure?
Yes! I'm sorry. I'm sure, yes.
Fine.
I definitely have to find Mother quickly. Am I going crazy or what? This can't be real. The Duchess arrived with me. What's happening to me, for God's sake? I absolutely need to find you, Mother.
So, it would seem we have a bunch of influential people going to a mysterious island in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. All here as guests of Lord Mortimer. And it starts off with a bang of a little bit of the paranormal, seeing as how you can have visions into other people or inhabit their bodies.
Louis, during the trip, I had something I wanted to ask you, but we didn't happen to run into each other.
Yes, Duchess?
I'm not sure if you remember, but we've met before. At that time, you were of two minds as to your choice of career. Tell me, what have you been up to since?
Alright, so now comes that time in any RPG where you're gonna pick your starting class and you have no idea what any of it really means to you. Other than the fact there are usually a handful of choices, in this case 3. Diplomat, occultist, and detective. Seeing as how there's being an occultist, that kind of tips it off in the paranormal aspect of this adventure, as being of mind of the occult would probably lead to more insight into those sorts of things. Whereas a diplomat and a detective seem more self-explanatory, and especially for the ancient setting, I drifted towards picking a diplomat over the others. I thought maybe playing a detective would be good, but I thought that'd be too reminiscent of the more recent Sherlock Holmes games, and wasn't sure if that would play out differently. But really it's just about the various skills here that you eventually learn, what that means for dialogue choices and actions you can take in the game, but of course none of that apparent from the get-go, so you just kind of go in blind and pick the one. So I just went for the diplomat to start. And having reviewed the fact I'd have skill points to spend here, I probably should have put some of those skill points in other skills, but you learn that later and you pick it up and things keep moving.
Well, I've devoted myself to the interests of France to the best of my abilities. A few years ago, I had a brush with some of your fellow countrymen.
Counter-revolutionaries, I'd imagine.
Exactly. They got away, thanks to a little diversion I came up with to keep the sans-culottes away. Believe me, they came close to adorning the walls of the catacombs of Paris.
So that young French diplomat was you? The mercy you showed the agents of the Queen roused the admiration of the court. Few would have let them leave France alive.
Duchess, I'm surprised that anyone still remembers.
Well, they say I have the memory of two people. But please, call me Emily.
Fine, Emily. Tell me, I was actually helped on that case by my mother. You wouldn't know her by any chance?
Wait, Louis. We've already met. You do remember me, don't you?
Please excuse me, madam. I'm sure we've met before, but I don't remember where.
I appreciate your honesty, even if it's not very flattering for me.
I imagine that with your beauty, madam, it's the first time a man hasn't remembered your face.
Well, I must say you make up for yourself rather elegantly.
Please stop torturing me. I'm completely at your mercy. Where have we met?
4 years ago, in London,
No, sorry, I don't remember.
in the office of William Pitt. Remember? No?
I'm so sorry, Emily, but I really don't remember you.
Let's drop it, Louis. It doesn't matter. Right, time to go to the manor. I'm heading off. Don't get left behind.
I'm coming. I don't know where we're going like this, Emily, but you're connected to my mother one way or another. And if I can believe my vision, you don't have much of a place in her heart.
So as you can see, they just had the tutorial for what they call opportunities in the game. And while it's apparent there was the timer at the bottom of the screen, and I saw 2 points I could click on her face, I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to do, because the one I clicked clearly didn't trigger anything.
Must be an incredible view from up there. Impossible to set foot on the island without being seen from 300 meters away.
So as you can see on this screen, these are the different talents that were also given a brief tutorial. And if you're looking on the screen, you can see there's a whole bunch of them, and as I hover over each one, they show what requirements they require for me, doing certain actions, getting different skills up, and they'll give me some sort of bonus in return. So there's a whole bunch of those that you can get throughout the game. And I didn't bother looking over them too much right now. I just figured they'll come when they come.
Good evening, sir. May I ask your name, please?
Louis Moras de Richer.
Monsieur de Richer. Delighted to welcome you among us, sir. You must be Sarah de Richer's son. I must tell you we are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
What can you tell me about the disappearance of my mother?
2 weeks have passed since Sir's mother went missing. All the staff here have since been busy searching every nook and cranny of the island. But Sir may rest assured, we shouldn't be long in finding her.
And just what have you found so far?
It would seem that Sir's mother may be hiding on the island and regularly changing her location. But no one seems to know why she would find this behavior necessary.
What do you mean?
On several occasions, we have found leftovers of food, a few of her things, or even traces of campsites. The reason why we're searching the wharf again is because lights were spotted there last night.
Where we are now?
Indeed, sir. According to our information, lights were seen in the middle of the night, sir. After verification, none of the guests seem to have left the manor last night. We think that perhaps Sir's mother was here.
Did anyone see anything else?
Unfortunately not, sir. Only lights were seen by servants of the manor, sir. And as I was saying, sir, all the guests were asleep, and no one seems to have noticed anything at all. We seem to have found an object that would appear to belong to Sir's mother. A handkerchief. The handkerchief is embroidered with the initials SDR. We came to the conclusion that they are the initials of Sir's mother, Sarah de Richet. I have orders to give it to Lord Mortimer as soon as I see him.
I know my mother. She's not the kind to go for a midnight stroll on the wharf for nothing. I've got to find out what the hell she was doing here.
Where exactly did you find the handkerchief?
On the landing dock, sir. The one you arrived by.
That handkerchief belongs to me. Please hand it over now.
But, sir,
I'll speak directly to your master about it. It will be a very long conversation.
Of course, sir. Please, take it. On that note, I must leave you, sir. There is still much to prepare in order to welcome all the guests.
It is indeed your handkerchief, Mother. You must have come here for a specific reason. I need to know what it is. Let's think. What could she have been doing out here on this wharf?
So, as you can see in that conversation with the servant, I had discovered one of his weaknesses. So my one skill that I got for being a diplomat was conviction up to level 1. So that was the only dialogue choice I could pick. I'm assuming each of the ones that were grayed out would be one from each of the initial classes you could choose. And my guess is that the servants would be vulnerable to whichever one you have unlocked. But those are good to know moving forward, as you can use those types of dialogue options on people, and they'll be guaranteed to give you a good result, which will forward the conversation or topic at hand, or allow you to get more information. Or in this case, I got my mother's handkerchief, which I think means absolutely nothing except for sentimental value. So now,
I'll never get it open barehanded.
much like any of these episodic adventure type games, it's now time to search the area. I was told that my mother was here at some point, so as you can see, much typical of these games,
Wooden floorboard.
various highlighted objects around the environment that once you get close to, they
Probably
become
comes from this part
highlighted.
of the wharf. The wood is slightly eaten away, of course, but it still would have been fine if it weren't smashed.
And then, of course, you can interact with it, click on various things, and get the additional explanation about what it is you're looking at.
Hey, there's something not right about this floorboard. It's different from the rest. Somebody replaced it recently, but looks like it's fixed pretty solidly in place. It's going to be tough to rip it out of here. Ah, shit! It's not coming up. I'll never manage it barehanded. I need something to lever it with. Looks like the barrel's been broken for quite some time. This chest might belong to Duchess Hillsborough. Looks like a bar from an old gate. This miserable old bar has been broken fairly recently. The edges are still clean, and the tip is blackened. Without analysis to the contrary, I put my money on cannon powder. This might just come in handy.
So, as you can see, most of the items I've interacted with
Sack
are
of seeds. It's unopened. No one seems to have used any.
just descriptions and nothing real useful. I've picked up a couple items like that jelly, which will help heal my ability
Rope.
points
Apparently no one's touched
or
it for a
encounter
long
points,
time.
something like that, which you'll find out more later.
Let's see what's hidden inside.
But clearly that crowbar will come in use. I wonder where.
Let's look.
And of course now, nothing like breaking the general law that you shouldn't be going through other people's
A
mail.
letter written in an Oriental language.
So like this one, I have a
Letters in
skill to do.
Japanese. It's addressed to a certain Kei Shotaro in Tokyo.
So like that one, I had a skill to decipher what was on the envelope, but most of these aren't
The
all
address
that
is in
interesting.
Sao Paulo, Brazil. That reminds me. It's about time the order sent some envoys there.
And really, only one of the letters, I think, gleams anything towards the story, or
An address in Cairo,
your mother.
Egypt. Mortimer communicates with the whole world, apparently. This envelope is meant for the Vatican. This name sounds familiar. Prashi. No. Can't seem to place it. Probably a Dutchman. Hôtel de Cluny, Rue de Mathurin, Paris. I guarantee this letter is for my mother. The address is a hideout for the Golden Order. If you write anyone over there, you have to watch out in case someone's reading your mail. But who is this Samuel Ritter d'Auchois? Let's see what's inside this letter. So,
Dear Samuel, my stay on Lord Mortimer's island is going wonderfully well. As I find myself in such charming company, I plan to stay a few more weeks. Would you be so kind as to send me a gift that I'd like to give to our old friend Manuel Godoy? I would be most grateful. I have been told that he's going to join us here soon. I would like to mark the occasion. Thank you in advance. Yours devotedly, Sarah Faustine de Richer.
what is your game here, Mother? Secrets, always more secrets. You never talk to anyone using language like this. Something's going on here. Who is this Samuel Ritter? And for crying out loud, who's this Manuel Godoy that you keep bringing up? Think. Godoy. Manuel Godoy. Why does the name sound so familiar? It's coming back to me. Godoy is the head of the Spanish government. He was appointed by King Charles IV, if I'm not mistaken. Rumor has it that he's very close to the Queen. Too close. Much too close. But hey, that's none of my business. He has a reputation of being upright and proud.
So I think it's kind of funny that the tutorial about the vulnerabilities and immunities comes up now
Very attached to the aristocracy and close to Louis XVI.
when I'm mid-thought.
Well, hope we meet to talk about it soon, Mother. I don't know what you've gotten yourself into this time, but I'll bet you've got a lot to tell me.
Like, wouldn't it be more appropriate for that to come up right after I talked to the servant? And I had gotten a vulnerability out of him? Oh, that's why. I just proved myself a liar. I learned one of Godoy's immunities. Also, out of all of those letters in that mailbox, why would he just open his mother's letter, or the one he assumes is from his mother? I mean, there's a whole bunch of that he could have gone through in there, but he didn't. He just opened his mother's letter. And obviously, if she were sending that,
A lantern.
she was sending it for a good reason. So he might have just pulled a dick move on his mom if she was counting on that letter being sent to that person who's probably in their secret order or whatnot. I mean, just saying. So now that we have that crowbar, it's time to go and see what's hiding under the floorboard.
That does it. Let's see what's hidden inside. There's a book and also a bag. The Mysterium Cosmographicum. I know that book well. Mother used to read passages from it to me all the time. And judging from what I can see, it's the same one as hers. For crying out loud, what's happened to you, Mother? Let's look inside the bag. A little food, a few toiletries, a small key, and some kind of black powder. An iron key completely rusted. You never know. It might be useful. I hope Mother wasn't counting on it. Shit, those are definitely my mother's things. I recognize her hairpins. This bag smells of her perfume. A piece of soap, some oils, and her powder puff. What does all this mean? The bottom of the bag is covered in black powder. Some fruit, a piece of bacon, and some bread. The fruit's still firm. The bread's a bit stale. From the smell, this food's been here roughly 2 days. And if it's rationed, there's enough left to last 2 more days. Right, that's enough. I think I better leave her bag here. If she hid all this, it's because she thought she might need it later. For crying out loud. Why did you hide supplies in the middle of nowhere, Mother? I don't know what's going on here, but you obviously feel like you're in danger.
So, I just gotta say, I think it's pretty hilarious that you can literally take everything out of that bag and pull a double dick move on your mom.
There we are.
Just be like, no letter for you, Mother. You ain't contacted no one. Just be like, your hidden supply, Mother. Well, I'm hungry, so I'm gonna take all your snacks. Nom 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 nom. As well as the book and the key. And why she'd have the key there, I'm not really sure. Because I don't see anything back here that would necessarily be something she stashed or wanted to keep safe.
Amber crystals. This wharf is used as storage for a lot of barrels. Uh-huh. What have we here? It's cannon powder. It's unusable now. I don't know what the person who left this barrel like this had in mind, but it's a waste. This looks like a pistol case, but it's empty. I don't know if this has anything to do with you, Mother, but if it does, at least now you're armed. Just like in my vision. And none of it's telling me anything useful. So, let's go through this. My mother's been hiding pieces of bread between the rotten boards of a wharf in the middle of the night. That's not normal. And if that weren't enough, looks now like she's armed. Meanwhile, she also takes the time to send out letters, reassuring whoever might be interested that she's having a fabulous time here. So odd. So very odd. And that's not even all I've noticed. But maybe I ought to move on to the manor now. They'll be waiting for me. At least I hope so. Right, that's enough. I think I better leave her bag here. she hid all this, it's because she thought she might need it later.
So there, if you see, I just used one of the healing items, which restored 2 chunks of those boxes on the lower left-hand corner of the screen, which is what I use when using my skills in dialogue or inspecting stuff, if there's a cost associated with it.
Fili quantilia produncia mundus ergatur. You don't know, my son, how little wisdom the world is governed with. I tend to agree. How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop? Impressive.
Ah, my son. I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Sara de Rice, aren't you? You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance. Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
Thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
So, since this is a tutorial showing me how to do a confrontation, which I only have so many mistakes to discuss something, I tried to see if I knew any of his vulnerabilities, which I do not know.
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow, then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest regard. She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
If only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is very commendable. But since we work together on a daily basis, it's surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
And as you can see from the first set of options, not all of them require skills in order to do. But generally, you would think that the skills
Mother passed her passion for art to me, ancient art.
would prove more valuable in trying to complete these objectives.
I didn't know your mother was an art lover.
Mainly pre-Christian objects which are believed to have unique properties.
Well, how interesting. Now that you mention it, I can indeed imagine Sarah getting interested in that.
All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate. Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful. Do you think I should give it to you?
But so far so good in this confrontation. Although now, I am at an impasse where neither of the options which require skills I can select. So it makes it a little bit tougher.
You have nothing to fear. I will give your letter to my mother the moment I find her.
The moment you find her? You mean Sarah has gone missing?
Shit, I shouldn't have said that. Let's not exaggerate, Your Eminence. I have no other information at this time. It's probably nothing.
Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother will read it?
So as you can see on that last choice, I picked the wrong one, and maybe they would have both been wrong and resulted in an X. But anyways, on to the final step, where it's a loop to find which option suits them. In this case, I do end up picking the one that moves the conversation forward, as I promised to do that for him.
If there's one thing
Keep
you
it
can count
sealed.
on, it's the value of a promise made by a Dervish. Respecting our commitments has always been the pillar of our family, and nothing nor nobody will prevent that from happening. Since you know my mother, you should know that a Dervish always keeps their word. You can be sure of that.
Thank you, my son. It is most reassuring.
You're welcome, especially since I promised you nothing, my friend.
Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur Dervish. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine. She has made the services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders. Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son, be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 15 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains. Devil's Thorn. Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
So, I do gotta say, this animation of taking that big book, just kind of stuff it in your jacket. I mean, where did you put it? It would be pretty obvious that you took a giant-ass book and just stuffed it in your jacket. But, hashtag video game logic and inventories.
Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of humility. Surprising for an entrance hall. Saturn devouring his son. Good God, how awful. Everything in this painting is disturbing. It's the first time I've seen brushstrokes like this. Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms. Blind Oedipus. Blinded himself. What a tragic destiny. Fall of the Damned by Rubens. The man who cannot achieve the salvation of God the Father is offered to fall into the depths of the abyss.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Maurras de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you forgive my indiscretion?
Believe me, she's not that special. His Eminence was asking me for my opinion about the style of the main door. I have to admit, this place certainly doesn't lack panache.
It's simply stupefying.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Lord Mortimer asked me to drop everything and come find my mother, who seems to have disappeared during her stay here.
Ah,
I took the first boat, and here I am.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, sir. It's not your fault.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's the man from my vision.
An urgent case.
Alright, so at this point in time, I got sick and tired of failing all those opportunities. Still wasn't quite sure what I should be doing with them. And the fact that they're all failing got me thinking, oh my gosh, what if I'm missing like important details from the from the game? So at this point, I did actually pause the game for a while and ended up reloading. I'll make sure to skip the video back up to where we were in the gameplay. With the opportunities, just get a little more flavor text added on, or observations. They don't add a whole lot, as it's usually just a quick one-liner. So I'm not going to bother about trying to put the footage with the opportunities in here. But I just thought this was funny that I myself got so fed up by this. I just sat on pause, searched the YouTubes and the interwebs, and figured out, hey, I can click all of the shiny objects when an opportunity pops up. And then if an opportunity just says it fails, or you can get it, it's because you don't have the right skill to actually click on it and see whatever it is there's to see.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Good lord. Washington is wearing the emblem of the Grand Master of the Golden Order. It's the highest distinction of the order in the United States. It puts him on par with my mother. He must really know his stuff when it comes to the occult.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's the man from my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our host, Lord Mortimer. He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relaxing.
Oh, we shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I have already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I saw him in my vision.
So, it's like at this point, freaking George Washington is here? Like, that's so cool. I mean, that other guy's kind of creepy and in my vision and stuff, but George freaking Washington
has to say.
and he's
Sir,
like
if you don't
in the
mind,
Order in America.
I shall stay
it's all
here.
like the
Do
Illuminati
exactly
stuff,
as you
and
please, young
kind of
man.
reminds me of Assassin's Creed with that alternate
Louis,
George Washington
thank you for
DLC.
staying. Just like you,
exciting.
when I arrived this morning, I found out that Sarah had gone missing. I know your mother well. Don't worry. Emily is from the English branch of the Golden Order.
And President Washington is in fact the leader of the Order in the United States.
I didn't know.
Sorry to have made you wait, but I didn't want to speak in front of the others.
You did well. Secrecy and discretion are the pillars of our organization.
If I can help in any way at all, please don't hesitate to ask, my lad. And if you have any other questions, now's the time.
And you, Emily, what do you think of my mother?
I only know her through the Order. The one time we met, we only exchanged a few words in a corridor of Parliament.
And was the exchange courteous or impassioned?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Was there any reason for her to be angry with you?
Under other circumstances, I would slap your face for even asking, but I'll put your lack of tact down to her disappearance. Know that your mother is a woman I would love to work with. Her reputation is entirely deserved. Mr. Washington will be able to tell you more.
Mr. Washington, you seem to be very familiar with my mother. Where did you first meet her?
I met Sarah during the War of Independence on American soil. She was introduced to me by a mutual acquaintance, and I must say that her sound advice prevented me from making some terrible mistakes. She may not be a soldier, but believe me, she deserves a statue as much as Lafayette does.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. There's no doubt Mother has many secrets that are still hidden. Right. Would it be too much if I asked you a few more questions?
Not at all. Go ahead, but I can't promise I'll remember everything.
May I ask, when you saw each other, what did you talk about? So, my mother was with you during the American Revolution. Did you talk about politics?
Yes. In spite of her young age, she defended our cause with enthusiasm.
Did she go to the front line like your famous gunner, Molly Pitcher?
Yes, in a way.
The role given to women in your war was a great step forward.
Lee, I am impressed. Few people know about the legend of Molly, so you don't know the true story. Molly Pitcher is a character invented by Sarah. She persuaded me to use a heroic female figure, an American Joan of Arc, if you will. It enabled us to gain a few thousand extra fighters, and it was all thanks to your mother.
I didn't know that. Thank you, sir. I was hoping to speak with Lord Mortimer. At least now I have some information, thanks to you.
I repeat, Lord Mortimer is a man of his word. You won't be disappointed. And I am persuaded that your mother's research is his main concern.
Mother still is at the head of the Golden Order. I find it difficult to believe that she came to this island without notifying the other members.
As for myself, I did not know. I am here at the request of Sir Holm, a situation regarding the Crown of England to resolve, and to see what Lord Mortimer has to propose to us.
As for me, Lord Mortimer asked me here to speak about the future of America. I did not know that your mother would even be among us. In any case, no one has yet mentioned associating the Order.
We haven't found many clues yet. But I did find a book that belongs to my mother.
Where did you find it?
That's what worries me. I found it hidden on the wharf.
Do you think she was preparing to discreetly leave?
I don't know.
An extremely likely proposition.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm sure nothing bad has happened to her.
Yes, I hope not.
Careful, they're coming back.
Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
Sir Holm, who was that young lady with you?
Elizabeth Adams, Mr. President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence. On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted.
So at that point, I find it pretty cool that Elizabeth Adams is also here. As that would have ties to Washington and the founding fathers of America.
The servant will accompany you to your room.
That's a cool little tidbit as well.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night. Mr. President, Your Eminence, Duchess, you have the same rooms as usual. You, Monsieur de Richet, will find your room at the end of the corridor.
Well, my friends, I am bone tired. I am off to my bed. See you in the morning.
Good night, sir. I shall do likewise.
Louis, I shall see you in the morning. Sleep well.
Good night. See you tomorrow. Oh, man. It's been quite a day. Right. Where is my room? Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
So now for the next few minutes I go around the upstairs here. As you can see, it's a nice rectangle. The various people's rooms are at each of the different doorways. And about the only thing that happens is I find a couple collectibles, like that collector coin I just picked up there. There's a couple of them on various nooks and crannies on tables. There's also various items that I pick up as well to pad out my inventory. Some of those items, like I used already, restore the chunks that I use for using my skills. Another one allows me to recover from any of the ailments, like finding Washington's immunity earlier. I'm still red in the upper left-hand corner. There's even one that will make the next skill I choose free. So that stuff's pretty good to have. Of course, there's an item limit. I think it's 5 that you can carry. So at some points, if I'm already at the limit, it just makes sense.
Encyclopedia.
In addition to that, there's some books that I find, as I just picked one up there. Books you'll see are important here, coming up soon, as at the start of each quest, from here on forward, I can pick the different books to read, which will give me different skill points, or help build my skills. So with that, I shall take us forward to the time when I arrive at my bedroom for slumber.
Right. So what shall I do with this letter? It might be about my mother's disappearance. But if I open it, I'll be betraying Piaggi's trust. What should I do? Damn. Can't wait to open it, but I gave my word to Piaggi, so... Too bad. I'll wait until I hand it to Mother. Wow! Nice room. Mortimer sure doesn't do things halfway.
So now I'm in my room, which I can go around and search for stuff in, which is what I really wanted to do right away, as soon as I got into the room. But as you'll see here, shortly thereafter, I'm gonna just barely step into the bedroom portion of my room, since this is like the sitting area. And then it just sucks me right to bed. It says, yep, nope, you're ready for bed. This is like, come on. Like, I wanted to look around at some of the stuff tonight. What if there was something in here I could only get now? And I missed out on
Inferno
it.
by Dante. Abandoned
But the good
hope,
thing is,
all
I
ye
think
who
most of the
enter
stuff's
here.
still there
Lovely
in the
lectures
morning
Mortimer
when
is
I'm
giving
able to
his
actually
guests.
go through
Very
and check it
jolly.
out. So, that's good at least. So now here at the end of each of the chapters, I guess you could call them, I do think it's cool that it lists everything out for you, what you did successfully, things that you failed at, and also the alternate paths you could have taken, depending on those splitting choices. And of course here comes the RPG leveling up aspect of the game. So since I leveled up, it's time to distribute skill points. And distributing those points, I'm paying attention to the various skills that were locked out to me during the game, as well as keeping in mind that I can read a book to give me one skill point in something. So if I leave something one skill point away from leveling up, then I can read the book to level it up, and then I can use the rest of my points to level something else up that I might think I need right away.
Your turn? The servants are not very efficient.
Durocher can't be far away. They'll find her soon. Their search time is restricted, given that they must keep an eye on Adams.
I can take care of her, you know.
Yes. Well, in any case, I do thank you for bringing her to the island.
From what I've understood, the search of Durocher's room hasn't turned up any results.
Not yet, no. But we've put her son in there. Perhaps he'll find something.
That might come in handy.
Louis grows impatient at not yet having met the famous Lord Mortimer.
He will meet him tomorrow.
Oh, what a pity to lose a knight at the start of the game. Are you waiting for someone?
A young French soldier.
During our game of chess?
Don't worry, Gregory. The game won't disappear. I'll have one of my men escort you back.
Don't trouble yourself. I know my way out.
Ah, good evening, gentlemen. Please forgive me for this late hour.
It is never too late, and we have much to discuss. One last move?
Don't worry. Our games always seem to end like this.
Or always start like this. Come, take a seat, my friend.
A little nighttime stroll, Mr. President?
There's nothing like it for a good night's sleep.
Do not hesitate to ask a servant to show you back.
The corridors seem quite safe.
Peppermint, lime flower, and valerian. My miracle remedy when one can't get to sleep. A very good night to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. And to you too, sir.
So I do think that was a pretty cool way to start this next little bit off. Him in that other servant's body, seeing that Napoleon Bonaparte is here,
or Matthew writing his
as well as
dictated to him
George
by
Washington coming to his room to knock on his door. I think that was just a pretty cool setup for this next part.
Excuse me. Am I bothering you?
No, not in the least. Is something wrong?
I'm going to need your help. Do you remember the young lady we spoke of in the hall?
Elizabeth Adams. Home introduced her to us.
Yes. Well, she is the daughter of my friend, the Vice President, John Adams. But she is supposed to be dead.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Fair enough.
Good heavens! I was present at her funeral.
It is disturbing indeed.
Yes. I need to make sure it's her. That's where you come in. I want you to distract Elizabeth while I search her room, and perhaps get my hands on some important information. At least I hope so. Elizabeth is in the small salon. If you hurry, you can still catch her. I just need 10 minutes.
But if my vision is true, there are two men nearby discussing very important issues, and one of them looks much like Mortimer. Washington is very kind, but I came to this island for my mother, not for his ghost stories. Count on me, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Keep Elizabeth downstairs as long as possible. She must not return to her room.
Trust me. According to Washington, Lady Adams is in the small salon. I better hurry.
My son. Oh, you are a godsend.
What's the matter, Your Eminence?
I believe Miss Adams may be in danger.
What do you mean?
Do you hear that? She is being manhandled in the small salon.
By whom?
I don't know exactly. A thug, a Frenchman, it seems. By the cut of his cloth, I'd say he's a member of the French Revolutionary Government. You should do something, my son.
You're right. That sounds like it might be bad. Good Lord, that's all I needed. How am I supposed to keep Adams busy now? Do you know if the man is armed?
No, I don't. I barely saw him.
If this thing starts to sound serious, call the servants for help.
I certainly will. Thank you, my son. May God watch over you.
Who do you think you are?
Forgive me, sir.
If we were in France, I'd have sent you to the guillotine for what you just said.
Please, just let me go back to my room.
Hey, you! Stay out of it! This is none of your business. I'm gonna teach this little slut how to behave.
What the hell is going on?
Huh? I don't think you know who I am.
Stop. I beg you. I didn't mean to. Don't hit me, please, sir.
Shit. If I step in, Adams might just run back to her room. And if I do nothing, yes, Washington will have enough time to search, but this girl's gonna suffer. Damn it, what should I do?
Let her go! Huh? Stay out of it, boy!
Shit.
What are you playing at? I told you to mind your own business, boy! If you think you can side with this whore and then just walk away, you're out of your mind. Give me one good reason not to knock you down.
You're not back in your slum now. You're in Lord Mortimer's home. I suggest you think carefully about what you're going to do.
Don't think you're getting away with it that easily. I'm sick of all these toffs. If we were in Paris, I'd send you all to the guillotine. And on top of it all, a woman telling me how I ought to behave? I won't stand for it.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
What? Don't tell me you're gonna defend these harlots.
Women, right? They really do drive us crazy sometimes. I totally understand.
Yeah, and every time they open their mouths, it makes you want to slap them. I get the feeling you're trying to put one over on me. If that's the case, you're making a big mistake.
Sorry about that. Look, there's no point in us aggravating each other. Let's both just go our separate ways.
Don't move, we're not done yet. You wanted to be the knight in shining armor and save the damsel in distress. Let's see how brave you are.
Think about it. You know your head will roll tomorrow if you shoot.
Wanna bet?
Sure do.
I'm not in the habit of beating Lord Mortimer's guests in his own salon. You got off easy this time, but don't try it again.
So I may have let Washington down there and not providing him enough time to do what he needed to do, but I couldn't let the poor woman be in anguish there as she gets beaten up by her French bodyguard.
The brooch Elizabeth was wearing. Huh. She was so frightened she was unaware that she'd lost it.
Yeah, well, it didn't seem to do her much good.
So it seems presumably that Napoleon is the one maybe in charge of her, and that's her personal French bodyguard.
There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest. Hey, these look like pages taken from an ancient encyclopedia. Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character. Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Well, did you get time to search the room?
Louis, I only needed 10 minutes. Imagine the scandal if she had found me.
What would you have done in my shoes? She was in the middle of an argument with some angry guy.
10 minutes? I didn't ask for the moon.
Nonetheless, you found what you were looking for, didn't you?
Not everything, but yes. Elizabeth is definitely the daughter of John Adams. We need more information.
You can always go back.
It's too late now.
Sir Jacques Perru? That's not the right way.
And of course, just because I want to look around when it's late at night in case there's any more collectibles or goodies to find, the game has to play the whole, you're confined to this area because this is where the story's happening, so don't go over there, even though you totally should be able to. But just a small gripe of this game. But you'll see soon enough they're funneling me towards an encounter before I return to bed.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Your Eminence, what are you doing here?
I was worried about you, my son. How did it go with Miss Adams?
Don't worry about that anymore, Your Eminence. I had to step in, but everything's under control.
What an adventure, my son. I am relieved to hear it. You acted as a good Christian. In these troubled times, we need more men of your caliber.
It's nothing, Your Eminence. I did what I had to do. Well, you did the opposite.
Good. Well, thanks for the news. My son, I have another problem. I wanted to speak to you about something important. Do you still have my letter on you? The one I gave you in the hall?
Why do you ask?
I have a name to add to it.
Here it is.
Thank you, my son. Ah, I see that it's still sealed. I was right to put my trust in you, Louise. Give me 1 second, please. I can't imagine what would have happened if I hadn't added this name to the list. Please be sure to give this letter to Sarah the moment you see her.
You can count on it.
Have a good night.
And that right there also pisses me off, because that's a super forced encounter to be like, hey, did you open up that envelope or not? And depending what happens, we're gonna have that consequence right here, right now. It's like, come on. It's like, this envelope's been with him all day. So clearly it isn't getting to Sarah, his mother, all that quickly. So if that person should have been on the list to begin with, they should have been on that list to begin with. And the fact that it's going to be days before I get this letter to her, apparently it isn't all that important.
I'm exhausted. I better go to bed. I'll search my room tomorrow. If Mother stayed here right before me, you never know. And Mortimer had better show up.
And that right there is chapter 2 of episode 1. As you can see, I had some success, but also failed a couple times this chapter. I still think overall it played out pretty well, and maybe not dinking around with Washington would have been more beneficial to learn some stuff as to, presumably that was Lord Mortimer playing the chess at the beginning. But I'm sure he'll show his face up here soon enough. So anyways, I'd just like to take this time to thank you for watching as I play the Council. This will be part 1 of episode 1, and I'll get part 2 up as quickly as I can and keep releasing these as I go through the game. In total, there are 5 episodes, so look forward to that. And if they're all about 3 hours, this first episode is about 3 hours long, I'll try to break them up in half, so it's an hour-and-a-half chunk at a time. But anyways, thanks for sticking around for this, and I hope you're enjoying the story as much as I have while playing it.